generally implemented in day-to-day infrastructures. Apart from this, starting from the any operating point of view, we are going to jump onto the containers. We are going to jump onto the orchestration part. Now, when we talk about the infrastructure, we need to provision the infrastructure. How the infrastructures are provisioned into the IT industry, we are going to cover up such scenarios as well. As well as there are some tools which is called the configuration management tools, which are called the infrastructure as a code tools. We are going to cover up those things. Okay. So guys, I'm just sharing my screen once so that I'll show you that what are the topics we are going to cover up and what will be the and how we can proceed on those. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes.
Thanks for the confirmation. So these are some of the topics that we are going to cover up. This program is basically the DevOps Mastery Program. It is basically of and between 150, 30 to 150 hour varies. Generally, we try to complete it within 130 hours. But let's say if any candidate is having problem, because we are going to keep this training in a project approach. Let's say after each and every topic we are going to give you some project that you need to work on, and in those projects, let's say if you face any issues, you face any difficulties, so we are there to help you. So that is why we have made this course between 130 to 150 hours. Now the very first unit that we are going to cover up here is introduction to DevOps. But before introduction to DevOps, who can join this specific training? Now this specific training can be beneficial from a person who is fresher to the industry, or who wants to jump into the industry, as well as who wants to switch their career from one profile to the DevOps profile. Now, let's say the profile can be networking to DevOps, database to DevOps, QA to DevOps. So any of these profile he wants to jump, he can go. Apart from this, if anyone is already in DevOps but they are looking for upskilling themselves, so they can also avail this specific program. Now, when we talk about the things that we are going to discuss, as you can see, the first unit is mentioned over here is introduction to DevOps. Now, introduction to DevOps will consist of that what are the roles and responsibilities of DevOps, what generally the problems a DevOps engineer face in his day-to-day activities, and how generally he resolved them. Apart from this, uh, let's say if you're working in a service-based organization and your client proposed you, hey, I want an infra according to this need, how to suggest him that these are the tools will be best for your use cases and how they can be beneficial for the client, you can also suggest for them. The same thing goes with the product based organizations as well. Now let's say when we say about uh, any other thing, let's say for an example, if there any integration need to be done, let's say how we can create a SOW, that is a scope of work for any client, we are going to cover up such kind of a things as well. So before this unit one, we are going to cover up one important topic that I have not mentioned here, because generally people do not consider it as a part of DevOps, but for me it is really necessary to know that specific topic, that the topic name is Linux. Okay. Now, why Linux? Because into this, we are going to take our training in complete Linux-based platform manner. For an example, when I say Linux-based platform manner, right now every person in the across the globe, I would say, is using some kind of operating system. Now, it can be MacBook, it can be Linux, it can be DOS, it can be Windows. But if I talk about the IT scenario, if I talk about the IT infrastructure, most of the servers are running onto Linux. So although I know that some of the persons are having knowledge of Linux, some of them are, I would say, really, some of them have done the mastery on Linux, but some of them are also novice to Linux. So that is why, to make themselves aware with this specific operating system or how they can deal with this specific operating system, we are going to cover up this part, which is Linux. Now, what we are going to cover up into Linux, we are going to cover up till Red Hat system. I would say not Red Hat system RSCA part, but yes, to somehow that you can easily administrator the Linux. Now, when I say the administrator to the Linux, it includes the basic commands. Okay, it includes basic commands now, as well as troubleshooting part, troubleshooting, also day-to-day operations that a generally Linux administrator do. So we are going to cover up Linux to some extent that you can easily understand the in and outs of all the commands of Linux. So this is the part that we are going to cover up. Now, once we are done with Linux, we are going to jump on to the next part, which is uh, the first topic, according to, I would say, DevOps is introduction to DevOps, and why we have selected the tools here, or what are the whatever the tools are mentioned into this course, why we have selected that. Okay, next will be your Git. Now, why Git? And let's take an example. You are working in an organization, and in the morning your website is working perfectly, but suddenly what happened in the evening, somebody has made some kind of a changes into your code or into your software, but after making the changes, your website goes down. Now, if you are not having any centralized repository where you can debug that what are the changes done and who has made those changes, things are going to be very difficult for you to track that specific error. So that is why there is a, although this technology is called the uh, SVN technology, that is I forgot the complete name, but yes, we are going to cover up Git over here. Okay, now after Git, we are going to jump on to another important topic, which is shell scripting. Now, let's say whatever the task you are doing, it is similar to let's say PowerShell. Those who are aware with the Windows, it is similar to PowerShell scripting. Here it is called shell Linux shell scripting. Now this will include the automating the manual task, apart from this doing some kind of a programming. So we are going to cover up till that extent. We are going for the cloud platform part, we are going to jump on to the AWS. Okay, now you can see according to the version control, we are going to cover up the introduction. What are the sorry, it was the VCS, not SVN, sorry, it was VCS. Now here it will be how generally Git works, uh, how you can configure your Git locally, how you can work remotely with Git. Okay, what is branching and merging, what is merge, I would say merge resolve, what is git conflict, how you can reset and the stash your operation. Now, what is reset and a stash operation? For an example, let's say if you have uh, committed something, or if you have added something into your code, and now you don't want that specific part into your code, and you also don't want to affect your whole software or software code. So there are some options, let's say a reset and stash operation. And also how you can set up the Git to on premises, because why I have said on premises, there will be some chances where you need to configure your own GitHub repository, because there are if I talk about the organization point of view, few of the repositories are already created, some of them you need to create. So that is why we are going to cover up in a manner so that you can easily create your own repository from the scratch. Later on, after this topic, we will jump onto the Jenkins. Now, it is one of the most important tools into the DevOps culture. Now, it will include from the basic of Jenkins, which is the introduction of Jenkins. Apart from this installation of Jenkins, how we can set up and manage Jenkins. Then let's say once we have managed the things, after that, when we are going to, let's say, use the plugins, how we can install the plugin, how we can delete the plugins, how we can uh, create our own Jenkins pipeline, and on the basis of those pipeline, how the operations are going to be performed. Generally the pipelines are created in several manner. It totally depends that what kind of a strategy you are going to, either it is going to be the canary deployment or a rolling update, or let's say If it is in terms of the Kubernetes, it is going to be the blue-green deployment. So we are going to cover up such kind of a things as well. Now into the Jenkins, I'm also going to show you that how you can build your code, how you can test your code, how you can stage your code, how it can be deployed to your production. So it will complete the CI/CD workflow into this specific course. Now, once Jenkins is completed, then we will jump onto the AWS. Although you can see it is mentioned onto the Unit 7, but yes, we are going to cover up in some pattern so that you can easily understand that what are the services going and what are the things mentioned over here. Okay. Now, once the introduction to if I talk about the introduction to AWS, it is not only introduction, it will have a very I would say deep dive session onto AWS, how you can create your resources in AWS, how you can create your account in AWS. For an example, how you can compare AWS, that is the cloud platform, with the other cloud platform like GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform, like Azure, which is Microsoft Cloud Platform, and what are the services name over there. I do have a chart where we can easily compare, let's say, if EC2 is the name of the server into AWS, then it is into GCP, what it is to Azure. Yeah, anyone is having any doubt, Ram Kumar? Guys, in the mid of the call, if you have any doubt, just raise your hands. I'll happy to answer you. Okay. Now, let's say once this introduction to AWS is completed, now this will also include that how you can create your own VPC, which is own your own network, and how you can create the resources inside those. Because most of the, I would say, batches generally happen into the market. What they are doing, they are simply creating the, just a second, guys. Yeah, so I'm saying that most of the organization or most of the batches are going in a manner, they simply create the resources into the default VPC, which is not going to give you the complete idea that how the things are working in the background. So we are going to cover up the VPC part. We are going to cover up how you can host your own website. So these are the things that we are going to cover up. Now, once this introduction to AWS is completed, we will jump on to the configuration management tool, which is called Ansible. Now, this in Ansible, what the things that we are going to cover up and why Ansible is required. Consider a scenario where, let's say, I give you, hey, you need to configure 100 servers in one go, and I want this task to be completed in within next 10 minutes or let's say 1 hour. So if the task is going to be manual for you, you will be things are going to be very meshy for you. Even you will not be able to complete those tasks into next 1 hour. So that is why we are going to use the configuration management tool Ansible. Now, apart from Ansible, guys, there are some other configuration management tools available. For an example, we do have Chef in the market. Okay, we do have I forgot the name. Okay, just for now, just consider the thing Ansible and Chef. Then why we are going to cover up only Chef Ansible into our topic? Because it is open source. Most of the organizations are working onto this Ansible because as it is open source. Let's say if you want to go with the Chef, you need to purchase the licenses. Each and every organization works on the concept of the cost optimization. So that is why we have taken only those tools which are mostly used into the organization. I'm not talking about the exceptions, but yes, mostly used into the organizations. Apart from this, Chef works onto the agent-based setup, whereas Ansible does not require any agent. So you can understand that how the things are going to be easier for you when you are working with the Ansible part. Now, definitely there will be a question arises in your mind. Hey, if we can do the automation with the help of scripting, then why we are jumping onto Ansible? Definitely, and this will be the one of the interview questions that you will face when you are taking any DevOps interview. Now, the answer to this, Ansible is platform independent. Means, let's say you can create a similar script for the Windows platform, for the DOS platform, for the, let's say if you want to configure your networks for let's say your switches, you can use Ansible. But for the Windows, you need to create the PowerShell. For the Linux-based operating system, you need to create the shell scripting or Python or etc. But this thing does not go with Ansible because it is a platform independent, which makes it a leader in the market in terms of configuration management. Apart from this, the prime objective of Ansible and the idea for which the Ansible was created was it should be treated as a configuration management, not should be treated for the automation purpose. Now, when I say automation purpose, it can be related to your infra automation, it can be related to your day-to-day task automation. Ansible is only created for the purpose of the configuration management. Okay. Now, once this Ansible is completed, I'm also going to show you guys that how we can optimize our Ansible scripts and we can utilize them onto the different servers, onto the remote servers. Even let's say if you are having the in-house setup, if you are having the cloud setup, how you can configure those things over there. Next will be the Docker. It is one of the important topics that is right now required in the market. When I say if you want to be a DevOps engineer. Now, consider a scenario. Let's say, just a second. Consider a scenario. Let's say this is your one server. Now, this is your another server. Now, this is your server three. Now, just give me an example. Can you install, let's say, those who are new to the industry or those who are, let's say, already working in the industry, just wanted to know one thing. Can you install, let's say, multiple softwares onto the same system, multiple software versions onto the same system, let's say Python 2, Python 3? If you can install, then can you work with them without any conflict, package conflict? The answer is no. Apart from this, if you want to host multiple applications onto the system without any container based approach, things are going to be very tricky for you because there will be the issues, let's say network isolation, identity, as well as package isolation. So these will be the scenarios you will face. So if you are going to use, let's say, server A for A application, server B for B application, server C for C application, it is going to increase your organization cost. So that is why we take another technology, which is container based technology named as Docker. Now you can create multiple app, you can host multiple application with the network isolation, with the library. You will not have the library conflict. Now, how you are going to do this, we will talk about this thing in a detailed manner when we are doing the deep dive into Docker. Now, under the Docker, you can see also, sir, is the Docker only available options in the market? Or don't we have any other alternative? The answer is yes, we do have alternative, but it is why we choose Docker, because it is open source. As I already told you that we are going to cover up the things which are completely open source, because you are going to get most of the things in most of the organizations. Okay. Next will be the Kubernetes. Now, when we talk about Kubernetes is one of the, I would say not one of the, it is the most important topic right now in the DevOps market. Now, what is Kubernetes? It is somewhat related to the orchestration of the containers. Earlier, whatever the containers you have created, you are managing those manually. Now, when I request you, hey, you need to provision the containers automatically, the things are going to be tricky for you. Then you require Kubernetes over there. There are other alternatives of Kubernetes. Always in the market, Kubernetes are treated or trained in two manners. One is the managed Kubernetes setup. Okay. Second will be the unmanaged Kubernetes setup, or you can say self-managed. So we are going to start our session in a self-managed Kubernetes setup, because there are, and I'll show you that how you can manage the how you can create the managed Kubernetes setup. Now, when I talk about the managed Kubernetes setup, it will be like Google Kubernetes engine. It will be like uh, EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. It will be AKS, that is Azure Kubernetes Service. So these are three Kubernetes services that are right now leading the market. But yes, the base for them will be the in-house Kubernetes setup. So we are going to work in this manner, so that let's say once you complete this Kubernetes thing, if anybody asks you, hey, do you know anything about GKE? Do you know anything about EKS? You will not be silent at that time. You can confidently say that yes, I know about all of these Kubernetes setups. Okay. Now, when I talk about Kubernetes setups and how the things that we are going to cover up, we are going to cover up the things till CKA manner, that is Certified Kubernetes Administrator. It is also one of the certifications which is right now available in the market, and it is good to go with that. So we are going to cover up our Kubernetes till this point. Let's say after completing of this training, if anyone wants to appear into the CKA exam, they can easily appear for them. Okay, appear them for this exam. After this, there will be things related to the monitoring. Instead of Nagios, we are going to cover up Zabbix over here. Also, guys, there are some other topics as well which I have not mentioned into the sheet, because it will consist into the Kubernetes part only. Those will be related to the Prometheus and Grafana. So this Prometheus and Grafana will be used for the monitoring purpose. Okay. Although when you see most of the organization or most of the training centers generally do they configure Kubernetes monitoring with the Kubernetes dashboard. We are going to cover up the monitoring with the Prometheus and Grafana. Why we have included Prometheus and Grafana over here? Because it can add some weightage to your resume when you say, I know the, let's say, how to set up Prometheus and Grafana and how to manage them. It will be very good for you. Also, because we require some kind of a monitoring tool in our training to, let's say, complete the uh, I would say focus of the DevOps. So I have included Prometheus and Grafana into it. With this Prometheus and Grafana, I'll show you that how you can create your own dashboards onto Grafana, how you can monitor the uh, Kubernetes setup. Even let's say if you want to monitor the in-house servers, how you can manage how you can monitor them as well. Now, in-house as well as I would say the cloud-based setups. One of the topics which we are going to use for the infrastructure provisioning part will be Terraform. Now, Terraform will be used, let's say, how you can create your own infra. Right now, we are in the beginning of the training, we are going to cover or we are going to create our infra manually. But companies are not going to pay you only for creating their infra by logging into the dashboard and creating the resources. If you want to be really got a good I would say package, you need to add such kind of a technologies into your resume, which is called Terraform. You can provision your infra in a single click. You can delete your infra in a single click instead of jumping onto the dashboard from one dashboard to another dashboard and creating and deleting the resources will not be a good practice for a DevOps engineer or for a pro DevOps engineer. So those who are fresher or those who are jumping to DevOps, it will be good for them to know about Terraform from the scratch, so that they can easily showcase their skills that yes, I do have a uh, confidence to create the resources in one go by the scripting part. Okay. Now, guys, before starting the topic or before starting the technical aspect of this topic, any one of you is having any doubt, please raise your hand and please, you can ask. Yes, Nehal, please tell me.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to check 'cause, the DevOps is really new for me, and I would be the one who's learning from scratch. So I had recently done Azure Fundamentals.
Mhm.
So this AWS is, I mean, I'm seeing AWS everywhere in this sheet. Is that, I mean, is there a way through Azure as well, or?
So, Snehal, if you have done Azure, that will be very good. Because although you have done Azure, now what you can do for the betterment of your or upskilling yourself, we are going to cover up AWS over here. Now, you will have two cloud platforms onto your resume. Whatever the things we are doing into AWS, you can try to implement all the things onto Azure as well, because you have already done Azure. So the main thing over here will be the creation of the resources. So let's say if I'm trying to show you the resources that I have created onto AWS with Terraform, try to create with Azure, because servers, storages, databases, the backend will be the same for all the cloud platform, but yes, the name of the services will be different. So it will be beneficial for you, because in the training of DevOps, with the DevOps tool, you are going to cover up another cloud platform, which is AWS. So you can easily say, hey, I do have an exposure of working onto the hybrid cloud setup, which is Azure and AWS.
Sure. Yeah, I was actually looking at in the same direction because I had done the fundamentals to start with, and 900, and then 104, which is in the Azure again, and then there was a DevOps option. So by doing this course, I mean, is there a prerequisite in this for doing this course?
No, there is no prerequisite. There will be some prerequisite of these topics which we are going to cover up from the basics on.
And from background perspective, is there, I mean, is there any, like not prerequisite as such from understanding point of view, what knowledge is required for
So
getting into?
So this course will be from the scratch. So I would say if you are aware with the let's say basics of the operating system, for an example, what is RAM, what is storage. So that is enough for me to give you the instructions for all of these topics.
Sure. And just one more thing. I mean, when are these classes going to happen? Like what days? Do you know?
So it will be on weekends.
And is it the same time what we are doing it now?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay. Okay. I think, yeah. No, thank you so much.
Yeah, guys. Any other person is having some doubt? I think I found two hands were raised at that time. I think it was Shri. Yeah, Shri. Yeah, Gajendra, you can proceed.
Uh, Can I have notes of this overviews means that in a this material is in soft copy. So whatever you means learn after that, I will means read out them.
Yeah, sure. I'll provide this soft copy to the team and you can connect with them. They will help you to assist.
Okay, sure. Just because whenever we use the command, so we have the theory of these commands, so it will helpful to us to understand them deeply.
So right now it is only the basics. I would say these are the topics that we are going to cover. We have not started any commands. So once
Mm,
generally my
we
yeah, Gajendra, please continue first.
we are going to start with Linux now.
Yeah.
So maybe Linux has also basic commands.
Yeah, you will get all the notes after the class or after the batch or during the batch, whatever the topics we have covered up.
Yeah, actually, I just means attend the meeting so late. So means you are because
Yeah.
okay, because actually I already take your class earlier means in recorded sessions. So I just interact with you. Please
Yeah,
provide the notes of these sessions. Okay.
sure.
Okay. Thank
Yeah, guys, any other is having any other doubt?
Sorry, I'm back again. One more thing. For performing labs, are there labs in this course as well?
Yeah, labs will be there.
Yeah, and the platform would be provided by networkings or
No. I'll show you that how you can create your own cloud platform and then you can work on that because it will be a project-based approach. So providing from the networkings will not be enough for you to learn the things. So that is why because you have to manage your own cloud platform into the organization. So we are going to take the approach in that manner only.
okay, okay, thank you. And sorry, what's the duration of this course as well? How long is it going to be?
It will be I would say 130 hours at least.
And every weekend, which is Saturday, Sunday, both days, we'll have how long we'll be having the lectures?
I think it will be 2 to 3 hours at least per day.
Okay, okay, no worries. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, Gajendra, you were asking something.
you. Actually, we are going to practice Linux on the Mac. Sorry, Mac or in Windows.
So you will what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to assist you how you can create your own cloud account onto AWS, and after that you will launch your instances. You will launch your Linux machines onto them, and you are going to practice on them and how you
Yeah,
can
actually, I'm using Windows. So.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
guide me to how to?
yeah, I'll show you, because this will be the approach that you are going to use into the organization, because organization is going to provide you either MacBook or
Hmm.
Windows. So how you can connect your servers and other services with Windows, I'll go to show you into this specific program.
Okay, okay, sure. Thank you.
So guys, let's start if anybody is not having any other doubt. So this is the account that you need to create, those who because we are going to cover our training on AWS platform. So you need to create your AWS account. So how to create your AWS account? You have to go onto this website, which is simply you can search AWS console onto Google. Now you can see that there is a uh, console which is available, AWS management console. Now after that, you simply click on this. You need to create, let's say, if you have any account, you need to, if you do not have any account, you need to create your own account. So one, let's say if you want to create account, simply click on this, and it will ask you the details, that what are the details that you need to push in. Details will be related to your name, your email address, and your, it will ask your credit card details. So it will take only 2 rupees for the verification purpose. Now how you can manage your resources, let's say, because AWS is going to give you access for 1 year free. Okay. Now if I say free, it doesn't mean that you will keep their resources utilizing and there will not be any limit. There will be some limit. So you need to take care that once you create your resources, you will delete your resources if you are not, if you are not requiring them. You will stop your resources if you are not requiring them, so that you will not be charged. And somehow if you got some somehow you will not able to stop your resources and you will be charged for that, then how we can let's say try to connect with AWS to just, I would say, lay off our bill. So we are going to cover up that thing as well. Those who are having the knowledge of GCP Azure, they must have their portal with GCP and Azure. They can, if they do not have portal on AWS, create a portal and then try to work onto different platforms. They will enhance their skills. Okay. But we are going to cover up this thing in AWS manner. Why I have chosen AWS? Because for the beginners, it is always a good option to go with AWS to learn about cloud. Okay. Now, let's say once you are completed with your account creation, okay, the first thing that you need to jump on to for learning the Linux, because although I do have the MacBook available with me, I can easily work whatever I want onto the MacBook, but all of you are not having MacBook. So simply what you need to do now, just jump onto the, there is a, okay, just this will be the first dashboard that you are going to receive once you logged in into the AWS. Okay. Now this will be the first dashboard. Now jump onto the EC2. Now guys, EC2 is an acronym for Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay. When I say Elastic Compute Cloud, it is the service of AWS which is providing you virtual servers. Now there will be two kind of a servers. Uh, when I say two kind of a servers, one will be the virtual servers, second one will be the in-house server. So when I say in-house server, it is like it is hosted into my data center and I do not have any uh, automation to manage those servers. So that is why we are going to use AWS servers, which are although managed into AWS data center, sorry, hosted into AWS data center, but we are managing them from remote locations. Now you can see that here there is a location I'm getting Oregon. Now what is this Oregon? This is the geolocation of my data center, where my data center is right now. So you can see that you will get multiple options. Let's say North Virginia, Ohio, North California, Oregon, Mumbai, Osaka, Seoul, Singapore. Which reason to select and why to select, we are going to cover up when we discuss about the AWS things. Right now, the first objective to create a Linux server, I'm going to show you. Okay, for now I have taken this Oregon region only. Okay, let me jump onto the instances. Now you can see that these are my two servers created. Okay, but I'm going to show you a new server for you. Click on the launch instance, means launch server. Okay, it is going to ask, it is asking for the name of the server that you want to give, so that you can easily identify that why this server is created and what is the purpose of creating this specific server. Okay, so let me give the name as Linux test. Okay, now you can see I have mentioned Linux test. After, okay, let's say guys, uh just wanted to know out of all of you guys, how many are working into the IT or who are beginners? I am not able to understand. I mean, those who are raising their hand, they are beginners or they are working into IT?
No, actually, because I'm in IT department, means desktop support engineer.
Okay. Okay. So consider as, and how many are freshers? Okay. Paresh and I think the name is iPhone update there too. So guys, although you are fresher, you must aware with the knowledge of operating system, correct? That what is operating system? Where
I work in the industry as well.
okay,
Sorry, I put my hand down.
okay, sure. So guys, please make your just rename yourself so that I can easily communicate with you. Okay. Now, those either working into the IT industry or new to the industry, just wanted to know one thing. Let's say if you are going to set up any or you are going to install any operating system into your system, into your laptop, what are the basic needs that you require? Anyone?
CPU and RAM.
CPU and RAM. Okay, and
Hard disk,
Obviously, hardware.
okay, hardware is there and so
network,
yeah, network.
Operating system.
Correct, operating system. So the same thing we are going to use in this manner. So you can see I have given the name of my operating system. Now the second part will be selecting the desired operating system. You can see this application OS images. OS images means operating system images. It is similar to the, let's say, the Windows image, the Linux image that you generally try have into your hard drives when you try to boot up them. So here you can see there are lots of OS images available. Let's say Amazon image, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE, okay, Debian. So these are the images available. First of all, for this training purpose, I'm going to use Amazon Linux. It is the Linux platform. Now, what is the difference between Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, and Red Hat? I'm going to tell you in the next sessions. Okay, I'm selecting Amazon Linux. It is the Linux platform, okay, which is provided by Amazon. Let's say those who are working into Azure or GCP, you can choose CentOS, you can choose Ubuntu, you can choose Red Hat according to your need. Okay. Now you can see once I select this image, I'm getting the configurations for this or details for this image. It says that AMI. Now AMI is an acronym for Amazon Machine Image. It is the basically the ID that is associated with this specific operating system. Okay. Next will be the architecture, whether you want to create a 32-bit architecture or 64-bit architecture. Okay. Now, next will be the what are the CPU and RAM that you want. Instance type. Now, when I say the instance type, it is basically required to select the instance type. Now, always remember, guys, for now, I'm just showing you how you are creating your Linux instance and how you are working on that. All the details, which is instance type, security features, and I would say storages in AWS, we are going to cover up when we discuss the AWS part. Okay. Now here you can see that I do have the T2.micro. Now T2.micro is required for the one virtual CPU. Virtual CPU means it is similar to the CPU, and 1 GB of RAM you can see. Okay, so I'm selecting this. This is freely available for me. Now key pair login is required for logging into your system because it is a cloud-based system. Directly, we do not have any password, we do not have any console access, so that is why we require some kind of a key to connect with them. Okay. Now, what is the role of this key? I'm going to show you. Okay. So let's say I'll give this name Linux underscore test. Okay. It already exists. Linux new test. Okay. I have created the key over here. You can see that my key is already downloaded. By default, it is downloaded into my system. Simply after selecting, these are the default settings that I'm keeping it as of now. I'm just giving launch instances. Now what it is doing in the background, it is creating or it is preparing a Linux operating system for me of 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM, and the base operating system will be Linux, Amazon Linux over there. Okay, so when you select this, either you can directly select this ID or you can select the instances. Okay, now once you refresh this account or refresh this dashboard, you found that there is one machine which is named as Linux test is into the pending state, means it is getting provisioned. So let's wait for a few more seconds till the time it gets provisioned. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask me.
So instances is basically creating a virtual machine as per.
Correct. Or those who don't know about the virtual machines, just consider that it's like a virtual operating system for you. Now you can see that my instance is right now into the running state. Once my instance is running, you can see that there are some other options that I have received over here, which I have not selected. For an example, the public IP, it is created by default. The private IP, it is created by default. Why it is created by default? Because I have selected the default network. Now, in the coming days, we are going to customize our network according to our own needs. Okay. So let's say if I want to log in into this instance. Okay. Now there are two kind of approaches to check that which how to connect. First of all, just select the instance, click on connect. Okay. Let's say you can see that it says that for connecting, you need to use this specific command. Instead of this giving a name, you can select the IP. Let me do the same thing. Okay. I have downloaded a file which is named as Linux underscore test underscore new. Okay, so I'm going to give a permission to that specific file. Now the permission should be like this. Okay. Now let me log in. SSH is the mechanism or it is the protocol by which I can log in into any of the Linux based machine or Mac based machine. Okay. For connecting or into your Windows machine, you need to use the RDP protocol. For logging into your Linux, you need to use SSH protocol. Okay. -I option means I want to give the identification that which by which key I wanted to log in. Okay, EC2 user. This is the default user created by AWS for this Amazon based machine only. If you select the Ubuntu, it will be the Ubuntu user. If you select Red Hat, the user will be different. So that is why to confirm your user, simply click on that connect point and then you can see that, okay, I need to log in with this specific user. Okay. Now, once you are logged in with your, so select the IP, public IP. Okay. Guys, right now we are selecting the public IP, but in the coming days, we are going to log in with the private IP because in the organization, all the servers you are going to connect or most of the servers will be on based on the private IP. Okay. I need to select yes. Now you can see that I received an option over here. Are you sure you want to connect with the fingerprint option? Okay, it means that this key that I have used to log in into my operating system, okay, it is doing the handshake that the private IP, this one, the private key, this one, and the public key of this specific key is similar or not. If they are similar, they have done the handshake and then they have logged in into the system. Now you can see that, guys, I am right now into the Linux based operating system. I am not into my local machine. Okay. So now you will see that, okay, let's say if you want to verify that what is the RAM size of your system, can anyone tell me what was the RAM size we have selected earlier while creating this instance? Guys, anyone remember what was the RAM size we have selected?
It's maybe I think so 2 GB.
It was 1 GB. Okay. So if you want to check RAM onto your machine, that how many RAM is available and how many RAM is attached, click free-m. Now you can see that mem, which means memory, was 949 MB, which is somewhat nearby to 1 GB or 1 GB. Okay. Out of this 949, 132 MB is used, 576 MB is free, 2 MB is into shared buffer, and this is the total available RAM. Now you will see that, sir, how can you say that this value is into MB only? The reason, because I have used free-m, which means into the MB state. If I use simply free, you can see that it is showing me the details into the KB, or I think it is into the bytes. So if you want to make it into the human readable format, you can go with this. Let's say if you want to go, now you can see that, yeah, for the gigabyte, you can use the -G option because we do have lesser than 1 GB. So that is why it is giving us only 0000. So when I use -M, you can see this one. Next thing, what is the hard drive that I have attached? Okay. So when you jump onto your instance settings, okay, just you can see onto the storage section, you can see that I have attached the 8 GB of volume to my system. Okay. You can, so how to verify that? df-h. Okay. You can see that this is the volume. XVDA, it is 8 GB attached. Now, whatever the operate, now these are the /run/dev/dev temp boot EFI. These are these file system of your operating system. Now, what is file system? I'm going to tell you, but for now, this will be the location where your all work is going to be saved. Okay. Now, we do not, the question will be, sir, do we have any GUI or the console for the Linux based machine? The answer is no. uh, into the server industry, you need to work onto the CLI mode only. Okay, so that is why these are the commands by which you can communicate with your Linux based operating system. Now when I say the core, you can see that there are CPU 0, which means a single core you have created. This is a single core server that you have created. By with this top command, you can see that I have executed the command top. Okay, so you can see that this is showing me load average. So actually it is showing me the how much my CPU is getting utilized. You can see that 0, 0.8, 0.07. So all of these things are related to the first, fifth and 15th minute of the server. Okay, after this, although we are going to cover up all of these things in a detailed manner when we discuss the Red Hat, or I would say Linux administration part. Okay, apart from this, let's say if you want to create any folder, if you want to create any file, how do you create any folder? So let's say mkdir, which means make a directory. I want to create a folder. Okay, so let me give the name as abc. So ls, which means list, you can see that abc folder is created. Now if you want more details about this abc folder, use ls space -ltrh. You can see that, okay, this is the permission of this folder. Okay, this is the user, these are the user and groups who have created this folder. This is the folder name, this is the time at which this folder is created. Now you say that, sir, right now it's 11:50 ist, why we are getting 6:19 ist? The reason is this time is right now into the UTC mode. You can see it is into the UTC. You can change the time on your operating system as well, but by default it will come with the UTC mode. Okay, with the date command, you can see that what is the date of your system. Apart from this, let's say if you want to see the details of this OS, so what you have to do, cat/etc OS release. So you can see that these are the complete details of your operating system. Sorry. Yeah. Guys, any questions you have till now?
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, Paresh.
Top
Yeah,
top command is also used for checking how many processes are ongoing, means check
yeah.
process ID.
Correct. Top command is it is complete. It is not single command. It have multiple use cases. So when we discuss Linux into the more detail, I'll show you that what are the things that you can monitor with the top command.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Paresh, you are asking something? Okay. Yes, Shri, please continue.
So you need to do this file you are showing us because account is not ready for
Sorry,
the
Shri,
next one.
I'm not able to get your voice. Can you please speak again?
Yeah, sorry, sir. Actually, so should we do along with you with this like setup that you're showing up in the Amazon
It totally
portal?
depends on your, if you are having that much of let's say speed or confident that you can create the resources side by side, you can do that. If you want to go with the video session and then you want to ask the let's say query, you can do that as well. And during this training or during the class, if you have any doubt in the mid, you can ask. It totally depends on.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually regarding that credit card, actually earlier there was a charge on the portal, so how can we restrict it, sir? So
What was the charge?
I'm not sure, sir. It was long back. Uh,
I think you have created your account and you somehow you uh, keep your resources running and then you will be charged, correct?
yes, yes, sir.
So instead of this, let's say if it is a long way back, what you can do, create a new account with any of the new email ID. And then because if it is a matter of let's say 10 to 15 days, we can raise a ticket to AWS and we can ask to waive off our, I would say, bill. But if it is more than 1 month, it is not easy for them to do that. So what you can do, create a new account that will be helpful for you with the new email address.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. Also, like some of the words that you were using, like handshake and uh, okay, sir. I'll ask it later, sir.
No issues. I hope that what was you are asking. So this handshake mechanism, for an example, okay. Just confirm me one thing, guys. Let's say this is let's talk in terms of the telecom. Okay, let's say this is the sender. Okay, and this is the receiver. If the sender sends something, okay, let's say he has sent something and the receiver has not acknowledged, okay, if the acknowledgement is not done, will the communication will happen?
No, sir.
Okay, so and let's say if this communication will happen, then what will let's say this receiver acknowledge, then what will happen? The next communication initiated, correct? And on the basis of this communication will be started. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this mechanism is called the handshake mechanism, where the sender is sending something to the receiver, and if the receiver is not able to acknowledge, the handshake will not is going to be done. The handshake will basically, on the basis of the key, on the basis of the path, on the basis of the permission that you are doing. This is completely a broader topic. I'm going to tell you in a detailed manner, but for now, handshake means that a proper sending and acknowledgement to be done, so that so that we can establish the connection.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, any other doubts you have? Okay. Now, if no doubt, now the next question will be, okay, for an example, sir, if we have created these resources, now I don't want to get charged if I'm not using it. Why? Because cloud works on the mechanism of the pay as you go model. Means the more you are using, the more you are going to be charged for that. So simply what you can do, simply click on your instance, okay, select and stop instance. Now what will happen? You will not be charged for this instance anymore for the next 1 year if you are keep it into the stopped state. Okay, but if you run this instance for a more than the limit, I think it is 750 hours of limit is provided by AWS, and if you are doing so, so you will be charged, but the charge is not that going to be a very huge charge. It will be I can say easily achievable, so that you can reach to them to waive off your bill. Okay, now you can see once you reload this, yeah, just a second, Snehal. You can see that this instance is stopped. And when you check this, you can see that my sir, I got disconnected from the server. Okay. Yes, Snehal, please tell me.
Yeah, just comparing it with the Azure one, as you can create the virtual machine, and then there's a disk which is there, which is charged normally. So unlike that, is there anything in Linux? Because we can just stop the instance, but I don't think so in Azure you can do that, right?
In Azure, we can also stop the instance.
Stop the virtual machine, but you normally get charged on the storage disk, right?
Yeah, but into that, you can see that onto the storage disk, you will not be charged that much. For an example, the maximum charge will be onto your operating system. Okay, but if I talk about the storage, it will be very minimum. And when you are doing the practice, I think hardly 10 to 15 days you are going to keep any software, any live instance with you.
Yeah, that's right. No, I was just, I mean, when you said the instance is stopped, that means we're still getting charged though, even if it's a very minimum amount, it is still charged, but for once we create the instance, right?
Yeah, because you are using the free version. So because your account is right now under the free trial, so you will not that much charge for the volume.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And do we get some credits as well in this free account?
It's around 750
It's
hours, and because
okay, it's in hours. Okay. Like Azure has got $200 credit, so I was just comparing to that.
yes, please.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, anyone is having any other okay. Yes, Shri, please tell me.
Sir, we should only stick to AWS, right? First, for now.
Yeah, if you have knowledge of any other cloud, you can go with that as well. But we are going to keep this course in AWS perspective.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Also, I do have a chart available with me, which will tell you that, okay, if EC2 is named for virtual machines in AWS, what will be it named into the Google Cloud, what will be named into the Azure, so that you can have a better assumption of the services into the multi-cloud platform. Okay. Now, guys, any other doubts you have?
No, sir. Thank you.
So guys, if no other doubt, I'm stopping this session for today here. Okay, in tomorrow's class, those there will be a prerequisite that you should have your AWS account created with you. Okay, I'm just pasting this URL into the chat window. Just copy it, and if you are not able to create it, or if you are facing any kind of a difficulty while creating your account, we'll try to resolve that in tomorrow's class. And also we'll jump onto the basics of Linux, that why Linux is created, and who has created Linux, what is the history of Linux. So it will be a I would say in start of the Linux session from tomorrow onwards. Okay, yeah, Shri, you were asking something.
Sir, initially you were saying about some code deployment. So, is there any coding be in this course, sir? Like
Shall
coding
I?
knowledge?
So I would say not knowledge, I'm going to cover up the shell scripting. Now, when I say code deployment, it is related to the that how your software is deployed into the production. That is called the code deployment. Now, generally this coding mechanism is related to the developers, but yes, I do have some sample coding so that I can demonstrate you how the code is being deployed. But yes, no prior coding experience is required for this training.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Urmesh, you are asking something? So, guys, please try to create your own account onto this AWS console.
Hi, I have a question. How do we access the videos, the recorded videos from the classes?
So for accessing the recording videos, what you can do, just ping into the WhatsApp group that I want the access for the recorded video. They will assist you over there.
Thanks.
So, okay, guys, this is all for today. Please create your AWS account on tomorrow so that we can start. And also, if anyone of you who is working into the IT industry and they have joined especially this batch for become certified in any of the technologies, then they can connect with me in tomorrow's class as well. Okay. I think yes, definitely a WhatsApp group is created for every batch. You can check with the team. They will tell you if it is not created, they will create and add you. Okay. Just check with the team. They will tell you that whether the WhatsApp group, newly WhatsApp group is created or not. So they will tell you.
Yeah, so hi guys, my name is Gaurav here. So yes, we will be going to create the WhatsApp group, okay, and that will be done like from next week itself, okay. So don't worry about that. Plus, if in case you face any of the challenges, you have the team contact details, and then we can discuss on that particular platform. So sir, we can close this, right? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.